David Shankle of DSG and Devilland, formerly of MANOWAR, and you're listening to Backstage Axxess, where the metal stays true. Shred on.
Hi, this is Chris with BackstageAxxess.com, and today we have Shredmaster David Shankle joining us. Welcome to BackstageAxxess.com. How are you today?
Well, I'm doing okay, hanging in there. Hello to everybody out there in the true metal land. Thanks for coming in and letting me do this interview.
Sure. Now, you've got a new record out, Still a Warrior, and this is your first since 2007's Hellborn. So I have to ask, why so long between the records?
Well, a lot of personnel changes in the band. I took some time off. My wife and I and her sister, we developed some new real estate schools, and I'm involved in real estate, and, just took some time to refocus and think about a whole new band. And to this date right now, I'm very happy with the lineup that I have. Warren Halverson doing vocals. He has such a great vocal range and versatile style. No matter who I need him to sound like, whether it's him or, a Whitesnake or a Dio, depending on what part of the song needs a different vocal style, he is capable of doing it. He's my best friend, my right arm guy. I got Gabriel Anthony on drums, who's done some records with Pamela Moore, who was in Queensryche, and Mike Stryker, who's playing bass for me. For me right now, this is, if not the best, one of the best lineups that I've had for this record. And unfortunately, 2 years ago, my mom passed away, and when that happened, it just kind of tore me apart. I took about 10 months off from that. But the record's done. It's out on Pure Steel Records. I'm very happy with the label. The single's been out since last month. It was released in Germany on the 24th and worldwide on the 28th. It's doing very well from what I've been told from the record label. We've got Chipster behind us helping promote it. And, I couldn't be happier right now. Yes, it's been a long time coming, but that coming is here, and it's out, and I'm proud of the band and the record.
Now, what was the inspiration for this particular album?
Well, I think this one for me was pretty much to let the DSG fans that I've gathered since my days in MANOWAR and doing the Triumph of Steel that I wrote half the songs on with Joey, that's gone double platinum already for me. And that rides as a trophy on my shoulder, and I'm proud of that, even though I've been out of MANOWAR about 15 years or so, but we're all still best friends. We're brothers of metal. We did the MANOWAR reunion show in 2005, and then Joey brought my DSG band over that did the Hellborn record in 2007 at the Magic Circle Fest. The inspiration for me for this record was to let everybody know, and this is why we have the title, that I'm still a warrior after the war, even if I'm not in MANOWAR anymore. I'm standing on my own 2 feet. I'm doing it my way. My first 2 records, Ashes to Ashes and Hellborn, were released on MANOWAR's label, Magic Circle Music, and I decided when it came time for the 3rd record, Joey was doing a lot, I was doing a lot, the contract had ran out, we're still best friends, but I could get deals that I were looking for and I wanted on my own, and record companies were coming to me, and I heard a lot of great things about Pure Steel, and we started to talk and got my manager, Johnny Pettigrass, involved, who had been with me since my entire MANOWAR years and before I was even in the band, and we helped nail everything down to get this record out. We're talking doing a run of maybe 100 or 200 vinyl of the record later in the year, and it felt like a good fix, and I always had the title, Still a Warrior, and when everybody asked me the song and that title and the album cover, what does that represent? And to me and to the fans, it represents my time in MANOWAR, being in a Viking power, true heavy metal band like that this song that was in my heart, Still a Warrior, is my way of saying to MANOWAR, to the MANOWAR fans that I have or don't have, and my DSG fans and my students and everybody, that I'm still a warrior even after being MANOWAR, and I'm still standing on my own 2 feet, doing it my way, just on the opposite side of the fence. And if you listen to the lyrics in the song, it's my way of saying thank you to everybody, but here's what I've got going on. Check it out. If you've never seen the band before, come see the band. If you like us, that's great. We'll put you on the mailing list, give you a CD and a T-shirt. If you don't like the band, then don't ever come again.
All right. You know? Exactly. Now, what was the songwriting process like for this album? Is it things that you have been working on all these years in between records, or did you sit down with these new band members? How did that come about?
I'd already had the Ashes and Hellborn record done, and when I start to do a next record, I get ideas in my head, and I just start to lay down bits and pieces of them, and when I start to get something together that feels like an intro, or a verse and a chorus and a bridge, I do pretty well at mapping it out and putting it together. Once I get that down with a click track, and I think I've got it structured that feels like it can be a song, then I send that off to Warren, and I go, here, Warren, I give him 2 versions. One is with me talking in the microphone saying, here's the intro, which is maybe usually a chorus, and then here's what I think is a verse, a sub-verse, a bridge, solo section. Give me your thoughts, and then I give him the same version without me saying anything on there, so he can actually write to it and let him come back to me with what he thinks is a title, a melody line. I'm usually very good with every singer I had in the band, from Tracy from the Ashes CD, Dennis to the Hellborn, is constructing, helping with melody lines, where vocal harmonies should be, when to change and fluctuations in your voice and stuff. And I really help with a lot of melodies with the singers and pull the best out of them that they can be. That's why they sound like they do on my records, not to mention they're all great singers in their own right. But that's how I do the stuff, and it starts off kind of with me and Warren, and then I'll lay down a standard bass part, and then I'll get that over to the drummer, and then when Gabriel does his parts, it usually takes him about 2 weeks to get it together. Then I'll go record them, come back, and then I'll mix that and take that version and give it to the bass player, removing my bass parts, and let him start putting his ideas in, his foundation, and actually play to the drums with the groove, just so we can get a rough demo pre-production idea of the song. And as the band starts to rehearse together, then the final changes start to come in with any changes within the groove of the guitar, the drums, the bass, any vocals, before we lay it down and actually record it to go for the record. That way, everybody at some point has had their hand in on it. They've said more than their 2 cents, and we come up with the best pie we can make and go, that's going to be that track. Where's the next 10? Cool. There you go.
Great.
And that works for me, and it works pretty quickly now that I've got a good routine going, and I'm already starting material for the next DSG record, and I'm doing a full-length instrumental record that people have been asking for, and my fans, for a long time, and I've wanted to do one for a long time, and it's going to be a very, very versatile record, from the big neoclassical shred stuff to epic stuff to classical guitar playing to country hot guitar picking stuff, fusion stuff, so I can really, really show everybody the versatileness in my style. I mean, I was a graduate from Roosevelt University in classical guitar and music theory, and I want to do an instrumental record so it's not just based around DSG stuff, and really show all the different styles of guitar playing that I like to play, and from all, the music that inspired me.
Right. Now, one of the tracks on the album has been kind of circulating around the internet for quite a few years now, the demonic solo.
That's right.
And that's from this horror movie, Jezebeth. Can you tell us how you became involved in doing that project?
Well, Lloyd Freese and Jeff Swanee, who run Dark Star Records, have been friends of mine for years. They approached me and said, this guy Damian Dante's a producer, and he's doing a movie Jezebeth, and we're having bands, bring in a song for the movie, for music in the background and do videos for it. There's a scene in the movie where they said this girl's going to be walking with a guitar. At the time, I was with Dean Guitars, and Randall Amp donated an amp, and they wanted about a minute and a half to a minute and 40 40 seconds of just pure balls out, evil, fast, super shred guitar playing. Now, if anybody knows me and my records, on the Ashes to Ashes CD, I did a guitar solo called Voice of Authority, which is in 4 guitar parts, which gives you 4 different types of shredding with melody and feel and expressiveness and technique. This demonic solo is not about any of that at all. It is about just pure speed, string skipping arpeggios, playing over the neck on a 7-string at top speed, and it's already being hailed by journalists as one of, I'm not saying the word one of fastest guitar solos out there. And a lot of people are trying to go to Guitar World magazine and say, well, you need to put Dave in there as one of the fastest top 10 players, because this solo proves it. Now, whether Guitar World magazine or any other magazine recognize it or not, that would be nice. If they don't, me, myself, and I, my fans, my students, my family, and anywhere I've ever played, people know how fast that solo is, and I'll put it up against anybody, anytime, any day. And if it gets recognized for it, great. And that's what it was supposed to be, is a demonic solo in the movie with Brie Michaels walking, and she's acting like she's playing the solos. When we did the video, we actually shaved all the hair off my hand, we painted my fingernails black, and the 2 cameras got right up on my hands as I played it, and then they dubbed it in the movie to try to do the best they could to make it look like it's Brie Michaels playing the solo. And they did a pretty good job if you've ever seen the movie Jezebel. It's out online and Netflix and stuff. And then I actually shot the video of me standing in front of a green screen and played the solo live, and then they put all the green screen stuff behind it, and it's been up on YouTube and all over my sites since the end of 2009. That's when that was done. I wrote it, we signed off so they could use it, and it's on my record to just let people know, if you want pure balls out shred, and if speed's your thing, then I'll put that up against anybody, and it's out there, and people are digging it for what it is. Some people are like, well, it's just a bunch of whacking. Well, that's what it's supposed to be. The people that know me know I can play. Go listen to every solo on all my songs on my previous records, and I'm a neoclassical super shred guitar player, and I can write songs and play with melody, feel, expressiveness, and heart. The name of the solo is called Demonic Solo. It's not called the most ultimate feel solo in the world for a horror movie, Vampire Jezebel. Okay, so people get it straight, get your head out your ass, any of you other guitar players out there, and I'll put it up against any of you any day. So there you go. I said it, and I stand by it.
Awesome. Now, do you have any plans to do some shows or take this record out on tour?
Oh, yeah. We're doing a CD release party. We're working on probably here in Chicago at Nightcaps, maybe in August. But then we have a 7-band festival we're doing at Penny Road Pub, August 15th in Chicago at Penny Road. A couple of great bands playing with us, Vicious Circle, Screams of Territory. I mean, I don't even know all the bands yet they're bringing on, but Steve McCarthy from MHX Metal Radio, T-Rex, Dozer, Corey, all of them have put this show together and came to us to ask DSG to headline, and it's a great place, great people run it. Kelly LeBrock, Dave, the owner, great food, and it's going to be outdoors. We're going to do the main stage inside. A lot of venues. Venus Lane and her jewelry booth will be there. She handles my swag, and all the other bands have their swag and stuff. There'll be raffles that we're doing for people to win the DSG T-shirt and CD, and all the other bands will be doing raffles as well. So we're all teaming up together for that. And then I'm doing some instrumental shows coming up as well, and we're working on 3 festivals in Germany later this summer if things work out with management and the booking. So we're keeping our fingers crossed on that.
Okay, that sounds exciting. Now, you had mentioned your training, you're in different genres and that you're going to be doing that on the instrumental record. How important is it as a player to kind of broaden your scope and explore all these different genres?
Well, I think if you're going to learn any instrument, you should try and watch all the great players that are out there and try and get some inspiration and techniques and tricks and influences from all the great players that are out there, whether some are more successful than others. There's an old saying that people say, do not confuse somebody being more popular than somebody that necessarily means that person's better than you. That has absolutely nothing to do with it at all. I've been a teacher for over 25 years, helping people reach their goals, cut the fat off the meat, and get a student and see what he wants to learn, what his style is. Does he want to just learn AC/DC or Metallica? Well, I say that's cool, but I try and teach them how to read music, understand music theory, how to develop solos, how to approach writing, for them at a beginner level, and to watch all other great players, get whatever instructional DVDs you can of all the players you like, and pick a little bit from them that you can understand and learn, and go to a teacher and have live, in-room, one-on-one lessons, because you can learn a bunch of stuff off instructional DVDs, and you can go on YouTube and pop it in any style you want, and you'll find some unknown guy up there ripping the guitar neck up, or the guys that you may idolize or whoever you like doing it. But it's a lot better when you're sitting in the room with somebody taking lessons, and you can ask questions and do that. And I teach at several music schools. I have students come to my house, Shankle's music studio, and I do online lessons over Skype. So if anybody is interested in lessons, you can reach me through both my Facebooks, David Shankle and David Shankle 2. We have the David Shankle fan page, the DSG musician fan page, and our official, for the last year and a half, the official new website is www.davidshankle.com. Okay. It's not DavidShankleGroup.com. It's not DSG David Shankle. Those were run by MASSACRE. Those sites are down. They're not being controlled anymore. It's DavidShankle.com, where you can find all the news and updates on what's going on with the band, besides all 4 Facebook sites. Not to mention the guys in the band, Mike Stryker, Warren Halverson, and Gabriel Anthony. They all have Facebooks, and we all have Reverb Nation. I have a YouTube site that's got over 260 videos from before MASSACRE to MASSACRE days, to all the different bands that I had of DSG, to up to the current band, and people can watch and enjoy, and the demonic solos up there as well.
Awesome. Now, you had mentioned, trying to draw inspiration from a bunch of, different players, the best of the best, but who are some of your biggest musical influences, and who has really made an impact on your playing?
I would say, to answer that now, I have to go back over the years in my younger years. As I was growing up and first playing guitar, my father was an inspiration to me because he played guitar and played banjo and was a music teacher.
Okay.
I liked guys when I was much younger. I was always into Andre Segovia, Christopher Parkenine, Elliot Fish, these guys that were great classical guitar players before I was even studying classical guitar. In my younger years, I loved Michael Shankle. One of my other influences was Uli Roth from Scorpions, and he and I are friends. I met him when I became a team guitar endorser. Of course, everybody's had a little bit of Van Halen rub off on him, but I liked Steve Vai a lot. I was a big Jason Becker and Marty Friedman fan back in the day when they did Cacophony, and I liked what they did. I liked all the Racer X stuff, but probably some of the biggest influences on me in shred, besides some of those guys, is guys like Alan Holdsworth,
okay,
Frank and Baldy. I liked Frank Marino from Mahogany Rush. I liked the Paul Gilbert Racer X stuff. I like those guys like that, man, that played. Al Di Meola, huge influence on me when it came to double picking and muting, and I've seen other guys that have copied his styles and stuff. And all those guys, through different years as I got older and grew up, were bits and pieces and things that I could keep and take from them that inspired me and influenced me to help me develop my style. And as I went through colleges and studied music theory, classical guitar, and understanding all the scales and modes and advanced scales and, European type scales, and took all that, soaked it up like a sponge with all the different influences I had to develop who David Shankle is and how I write my music and what inspires me to do it to be the player that I am. And there's very few people out there that play over the deck like me. There's a few. There's myself, Michelangelo Badio, who has played on my last 2 records, as well as Joe Stump, T.D. Clark. I have Parker Lundgren from Queensryche playing on my last record, and I played on Michael's record 2 records before, Hands Without a Shadow, on a song called On the Double. So we're really good friends. He's an over-the-neck guy. He invented the two-neck guitar thing. You know, there's a couple of other guys out there I've seen play over the neck, but Michael and I, we take it to the extreme. And, you know, we're both very much known for that, and it's part of my style. Some people dig it, some don't. It's, you know, it's, first of all, it looks cool, it's flashy. People dig that live. I'm all about being a showmanship live. I believe if you've got the 3 A's, attitude, aggressiveness, and appearance, you've got hope to compete with the big boys. And if you can play and write songs and be a shredder and try and be a great showman, people are going to dig you and buy your music and want to come see you play. You know, it's about the music and everything that makes a full band and a full package and a well-oiled machine. And, you know, playing-wise, I'm aggressive like my personality and my style, and it's flashy because people don't see you play over the neck in the studio. That's a whole different thing. You're recording the music. You want to get it as perfect as you can, get it to sound great, but live, that's a whole different thing. You've got to kick them in the face. You got to melt their face off. You got to make people want to come back and see you, and that's what I've always tried to do, and I've been pretty much successful with that so far.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today and filling us in on the new record, and we hope that you get those tour dates, because I'm sure there's a lot of fans out there who would love the opportunity to check it out live.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. If you don't mind, if you could let me know when you've got this thing's going to air or written up, I'd love to have it sent through Chipster to me and friend me on Facebook, and it'd be great to keep in touch.
Take this from me.